Denzel Washington sipped his morning coffee, gazing out of the wide glass windows of his Los Angeles mansion. He had no idea he was about to wake up to the worst day of his life. His phone vibrated. It was his manager. "Denzel, turn on the news. We've got a problem." When he turned on the TV, he saw his own face on the screen. Oscar-winning actor Denzel Washington has been accused of a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. His former business partner claims he orchestrated a financial scam, embezzling funds through fake investments. Denzel's eyes narrowed. What investments? What fraud? He was an actor, not a finance guy. Then a text popped up on his phone. "The lawsuit is official. You need to be in court tomorrow. Your lawyer." His eyes scanned the documents on the table. They had his signature, but he had never seen these papers before. Someone was setting him up. The question was, who and why? And most importantly, how was he going to prove it? As he sat down, the weight of the situation pressed upon him. His mind raced through the possibilities. Marcus Reynolds. Could it really be him? They had once been close, but in recent years, their paths had diverged. Was this revenge? A desperate move for money? The thought made his stomach churn. The hours leading up to the trial were filled with frantic phone calls, meetings with his legal team, and reviewing every detail of his financial records. His lawyer, Rebecca Carter, was a sharp, no-nonsense attorney with a reputation for taking on high-stakes cases. "Denzel, we need to dig deeper. Someone orchestrated this. We're not just dealing with Marcus. We're dealing with a web of lies." The next morning, the courthouse was a battlefield. Reporters swarmed the entrance, flashing cameras, hurling questions. Denzel ignored them. His focus was on the fight ahead. Inside, the prosecutor wasted no time. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence is clear. Mr. Washington had full control of these fraudulent transactions. He signed the documents. He made the decisions. And now he must be held accountable." The tension in the room was palpable. Witnesses were called. Financial experts presented reports. But the real shock came when Marcus Reynolds took the stand. "Denzel, you ruined me," Marcus shouted. "I lost everything because of you. The documents have your signature on them. You owe me." Denzel's stomach tightened. He hadn't spoken to Marcus in years. How had his name been dragged into this? His lawyer argued that Denzel's signature might have been forged, but the prosecutor wasn't done. They called in one last witness, Denzel's former accountant. She spoke with a shaky voice. "Yes, I personally handed him the documents and I saw him sign them." Denzel clenched his fists. She was lying. Someone had paid her off. But how could he prove it? As the court adjourned, he turned to Rebecca. "Whoever did this, we have to find them. We need to uncover the truth." Denzel couldn't sleep that night. He paced back and forth in his study, flipping through files, replaying the events in his head. Every scenario seemed to lead back to Marcus. But how could he prove it? Rebecca had already set a plan in motion. The next morning, she met Denzel in a small law office away from the public eye. "I've got a forensic document analyst looking into your signature. If it's a forgery, we'll have proof soon." "What about Marcus?" Denzel asked. "He's in deep financial trouble," Rebecca replied. "There are records showing that he lost millions in bad investments. He needed a scapegoat, someone the media would latch onto. Someone like you." They combed through financial records, emails, and phone logs. The deeper they dug, the clearer the pattern became. Denzel wasn't the first victim. Several other Hollywood figures had been framed in similar fraudulent schemes before, but those cases had gone largely unnoticed. Denzel's phone buzzed. It was a blocked number. He hesitated before answering. "Hello?" A distorted voice replied. "If you know what's good for you, you'll drop this." Marcus isn't the only one involved. His heart pounded. "Who is this?" Silence. Then the call ended. Rebecca's face hardened. "This is bigger than we thought. We need to follow the money trail." They reached out to an investigative journalist, James Fowler, who had been covering Hollywood financial fraud cases for years. "Marcus Reynolds is small time compared to the people backing him," James explained. "There are shell companies, offshore accounts. This goes deep." As they continued digging, they uncovered a shocking connection. A private investment firm had been funneling money into fraudulent projects, and Denzel's name had been used as a front without his knowledge. If they could expose the firm, they could not only clear Denzel's name but bring down a criminal enterprise. The courtroom was electric with tension as Denzel and Rebecca walked in, carrying the stack of evidence that could change everything. The prosecutor, previously confident, now looked uneasy. Rebecca took the floor. "Your Honor, we have compelling new evidence that proves my client was framed." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Proceed." Rebecca presented the internal emails linking Marcus to the fraudulent investment firm. She played the audio recordings that revealed the conspiracy. She showed financial records proving Marcus received large payments days before he filed his lawsuit against Denzel. The jury members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The prosecutor's case was falling apart. Then, the final twist. A new witness came forward, an employee from the fraudulent firm who had decided to tell the truth. "I was instructed to alter financial records to make it appear as though Mr. Washington had signed those documents. But he never did. It was all fabricated." The courtroom erupted in whispers. Marcus sat frozen in his seat, realizing the walls were closing in. The judge leaned forward. "Mr. Reynolds, do you have anything to say?" Marcus stammered. I was just following orders. I didn't think it would go this far." The judge's gavel slammed down. "Enough. This court finds the defendant, Denzel Washington, not guilty." Denzel closed his eyes, relief washing over him. Justice had prevailed. But as he walked out of the courtroom, he knew this battle had revealed something far bigger than his own case. Hollywood's darkest secrets were now exposed. The trial was over, but the storm was far from passing. Denzel found himself in the middle of an even bigger battle, reclaiming his name in the eyes of Hollywood and the public. Though the court had found him innocent, the damage had already been done. Powerful media figures and executives weren't so quick to embrace the verdict. Headlines still painted him as a suspect. Denzel, a lucky escape or a true victory. Talk shows debated his innocence. Social media was a battleground of conspiracy theories. And worse, some studios were hesitant to work with him again. Denzel knew he had to take control of the narrative. He sat down for an exclusive tell-all interview with renowned journalist Diana Lawson. The world watched as he detailed the entire ordeal, the setup, the threats, the courtroom twists. "This wasn't just about me," he said, his voice steady. "This was about power and control in Hollywood, about silencing people, and I refuse to be silenced." The interview went viral. Public perception began shifting in his favor. Fans rallied behind him, demanding justice not just for Denzel, but for other industry figures who had faced similar setups. But Denzel wasn't done yet. With Rebecca's help, he pushed for a deeper investigation into the fraudulent investment firm behind his case. As federal agents got involved, shocking revelations emerged. Several Hollywood executives were tied to illegal financial activities. The industry was shaken. Then came the ultimate moment of redemption. A major film studio, one that had distanced itself from Denzel during the trial, publicly apologized and offered him the lead role in an upcoming blockbuster. The message was clear. Denzel Washington was back. As he stepped onto the red carpet at the film's premiere, cameras flashed and reporters swarmed him with questions. "Denzel, how does it feel to be here tonight after everything?" He smiled, adjusting his suit. "Feels like justice." But deep down he knew This was just the beginning. The system that tried to take him down was still out there, and now that he had survived the fire, he was ready to fight for others. Story to continue with Denzel's efforts to clean up Hollywood's corruption, his new career resurgence, and the powerful enemies he makes along the way.